here with Ron Santa at the Delcastle Tennis Center, and we're here to learn about pickleball. Please tell us the rules, because I don't know the rules. Matter of fact, don't tell him the rules, tell me the rules, and I'll make them up as we go along.
All right, the very basic rules. Again, welcome to Delcastle Tennis Center. It's a very new facility. We have a private-public partnership with Newcastle County, and we have a land lease here. So we have a brand new building, and this building was built with zero tax dollars. Zero tax dollars. So this is open to the public from ages from 5 to seniors. We have pickleball. So I'm glad you guys came. You're here at the right place.
And it's all year round.
It's all year round, 12 months out of the year. We have 6 outdoor courts. We have 6 indoor courts.
How about access to EMS and all type of medical facilities? Because I'm not sure how this is going to go once I start running.
You're going to be fun. You guys look very athletically fit. So pickleball.
Looks can be deceiving.
Yeah.
We'll do what we can.
Pickleball is a very easy sport, and pickleball is a great sport because you can play from a younger age all the way up to the seniors, and it's big in the senior population. So with that, I'll explain some of the rules. Pickleball court, it's a very small version of a tennis court. Over here to the left, it's 44 feet long by 20 feet wide. We have a 3-foot net in the middle. And very much like tennis and ping pong, you serve diagonally to your opponent. You let the ball bounce, and then you return it back. The biggest opponent is the net. You get the ball over the net, that's half the battle. So with further ado, if you guys like, we can kind of get started and hit some balls if you like, a little friendly competition.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm too. Let's
Good,
go.
Matt.
Thanks, Ron.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
First and foremost, I want to know more about you. I want to know more about your agenda here in the county. But I think it's important because of today that we talk about COVID in the county. What would be your advice to anyone in the state and in the county right now in regards to protecting themselves from the variant and those that have not become immunized?
Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. If you've already gotten vaccinated, make sure family members, all family members who are eligible to get vaccinated unless their doctor tells them not to, make sure they get vaccinated. Friends, neighbors, talk about it. I know it's a strange thing. I know there's HIPAA. I know there's privacy. I'm very open talking to friends saying, hey, you should get vaccinated. And if they're against it, have a conversation with them. I've found over time a lot of people who are hostile to it, they're willing to listen. They see that, wait a second, they said awful things would happen, and now we are 8, 9 months later. They said it wouldn't work. Right? Vaccinations seem to be working. So the most important thing, the most important message we can give anyone right now is please get vaccinated.
Right. So what is the county doing to do for outreach?
So we, a little over a year ago, took on an unusual role. There was a public health crisis in our community. It required resources that the federal government, state government didn't have for the people of this county. So as a result, we stepped up. We traditionally in county government, in fact, in the 60-year history, 55-year history of Newcastle County government, we've never really engaged in public health with the exception of our paramedics.
We never had to.
We never had to, that's right. There wasn't a global pandemic that suddenly descended upon the people of our county. So we, a year and a half ago, basically put aside everything we were working on. This is in March of 2020, and I said we have 3 goals. Number 1 is to keep our communities healthy. Anything we can do to eradicate this virus from our community. The second was we had to protect the most vulnerable. And third was we had to plant the seeds to build back better, build a better post-COVID community than pre-COVID. As a result, we did some extraordinary things that have been recognized nationally, tops among over 3,000 counties in this country. We provided among the best testing. Open, free community testing sites, nothing up your nose. Remember there was that brain tickler?
Right.
We didn't do that. It was high quality saliva-based testing. We performed over 500,000 tests across our county. I know a lot of people watching went to some of those testing sites. The next step is we actually built a testing lab, a $5 million lab in partnership with Delaware State University. I started to say, wait, we're spending tens of millions of dollars on these test sites, sending them to labs in Texas, California, Washington, D.C. Why not right here in Delaware? We met with President Tony Allen, who's a visionary in his own right. We put together this plan with Dr. Neil Hochstein, Dr. Joan Coker, and we actually built a lab. So right now, a lot of the testing that we do is actually performed, analyzed right on Kirkwood Highway by Delaware State graduates.
And that's still happening today.
Still happening today. And it also, having made that decision, has put us in a great position for any additional wave that comes, or hopefully not, but if there's the next virus, the next pandemic that comes through, Delaware State now, in partnership with the county, is very well prepared.
So can people find information about the COVID vaccination and testing on your website?
They can. They should go to newcastle.de.gov. I also encourage them just to continue monitoring Healthy Communities, the Division of Public Health website. That often has the latest site. We do what we can to promote it, to amplify their messaging.
I hope that this time next year we're going to have a conversation and COVID isn't a part of it.
Let's hope so. Whether it is or not, let's be honest, Kerwin, it's up to all of us,
You're right.
It's up to all of us.
You're right.
Do we switch sides, or we keep?
You go to the other side,
Other
Matt.
side.
You go to the ad side, and you'll serve diagonally. Again. Good serve. Matt, nice shot. That's 2 bounces.
2 bounces. I got the
Two
point.
bounces.
Or I got
So the serve goes to Mr. Matt Meyer. And we have one, so the server score gets called first. We have 0 serving 1.
Oh, we're playing prison rules. Understood now. That's fine.
What'd you call him?
Prison rules.
Gotcha.
Very nice
See
shot.
that spin?
Matt with a little
Cut.
bit of spin. Matt
One
still
cut.
serving.
Did you say cut?
Score. Matt, you
Here's
call the
this way.
score. 1 serving, 1 to
1
1.
serving 1.
Now, Matt, serving
I
to the ad side.
I was here, 15 hours yesterday practicing?
Yes,
Is that
you
right?
were, almost, something like that.
Oh,
Okay.
the serve spin didn't work.
You being involved in the community, COVID aside, has not been something new for you. You've been doing this for a long time. Part of us knowing a bit Matt Meyer. When did this all begin for you?
Man, well, I mean, a lot of credit obviously goes to Mom and Dad, who instilled in me the importance of giving, that we all have an obligation to our community. I really wanted to teach public school coming out of college. I got a little sidetracked. I also wanted, in addition to wanting to teach, I wanted to see something completely different. As a young kid, I always wanted to go to Africa. I thought it was really cool. I learned in middle school, teacher Mrs. Bush taught me about a snow-capped mountain right on the equator in Africa. And I remember that really struck me, that wait, the equator is supposed to be hot and there's snow on the equator? Like, I gotta see that at some point in my life. So in college, I had the opportunity to go to Kenya. I ended up really enjoying it. I thought living in Kisii, Kenya, in villages there was transformational for me. So as soon as I graduated college, I actually went back for a year. I ended up starting a small business making sandals out of used tires in a very poor community in Nairobi, Kenya.
And that was successful.
Yeah, we grew to about 30 employees. We were at the right end of sort of e-commerce. We started right about the same time Amazon.com started. Of course, they were just selling books at the time, but we were able to start selling online, and that transformed a number of lives there in Korogocho, Kenya, in this little shanty town outside Nairobi.
So what brought you back to the United States?
So I wanted to come back and teach, so I ended up in a program called Teach for America. I initially spent 3 years teaching 4th grade, and then years later, after I went to law school, I ended up a diplomat in Iraq. I was embedded with the U.S. Army in Mosul, Iraq during the war in 2010. And then I came back home and ended up teaching once again at Prestige Academy in Wilmington. 1-1, right?
Ah! 2-1.
2-1.
And gentlemen, we're playing to 12.
Here, it's this way, now.
Get in. Get over.
Oh, nice shot.
That's a nice shot, right on the line. The lines are in.
Is this where I'm hitting from?
Yes.
So Kerwin, if anything happens out here and we need to call 911, your calls are going to be answered faster than ever before. Do we need to call?
I see how this is going to go, sir. We'll see how this is going to go. So when was it that you started and said, you know what, public service is where I need
You know, somebody taught me long ago that whenever you struggle or aren't sure where you're going, or those times when you lose direction and say, what do I want to do with my life, with myself, go and volunteer somewhere. Go and serve. It gives you focus, it gives you direction, it gives you a sense of importance. So I feel like whatever service I performed, certainly teaching, I always feel like I kind of took more out of it than I gave.
What drew you to teaching? What's the love of it? Because you have to love to do it.
Yeah, I think it's that I go to a lot of meetings now, and I've gone through a lot of meetings, certainly throughout my adult life, where people talk about a lot of problems, really serious problems in our community. Problems of violence, problems of lack of shelter, lack of quality shelter, problems of lack of nutrition, problems of inability to make a living. And almost all of those problems, not every single one, but almost all of those problems, their roots, I believe, are in education. And if someone along the line, so many problems, I say, wait a second, if we could reverse this story 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, get the right education, get you in front of the right teachers, get you the right educational resources, then this story might have been different. And that, I recognized that at a young age, and I always felt like having a great teacher is really a springboard to addressing a lot of the problems in our community.
Adjusting those problems at the beginning.
That's right.
That will change the trajectory for the rest of their
That's
lives.
right. There's something interesting about that. I really wanted to be a high school teacher. The program I was in, the teacher training program called Teach for America, placed me in 4th grade. And so I wanted to teach high school technology, math.
Right.
And they placed me in 4th grade teaching all subjects. And I was panicked because they were so young. And after a few weeks, I remember saying, you know what, it's almost not young enough. That I feel like the old adage, you can only bend a tree when it's young. That the tremendous impact elementary school teachers can make, the tremendous impact that preschool and early childhood educators make. I feel like I had an opportunity over the course of years to really see that and understand that firsthand.
So how were you able to utilize some of that passion in regards to early education and the trajectory of students to Newcastle County and doing work here?
So a lot of it is particularly relevant now. First of all, we collect all the school taxes for the schools and distribute them. Yeah, and distribute them. It's kind of an interesting job where people look at me when their property taxes come, but actually 82% of your property tax bill is not from me, it's from the state. I'm just the face of the operation.
Right.
So we collect the taxes and distribute them, but more important than that, how do you orient policing of the most violent neighborhoods with an understanding that a lot of what needs to happen is early childhood, right? With an understanding from my experience teaching in 7th grade that a lot of these kids, the issues that they developed were before 7th grade, right? And so our police officers often, for example, running Newcastle County Police, the 2nd largest police department in the state right now, we have about 370 officers on the street, right? And their orientation and understanding as you're going and you're dealing with adults. But many of those adults had very different experiences than those police officers did growing up. And so we need to, in whatever we do in government, we need to make sure that the public servants who are out there have an understanding, have a cross-cultural understanding, an understanding of wherever that person came from. And a lot of that is early childhood, your upbringing.
I just want to say this. I voted for you. Oh, okay.
Free serving format. That was some pretty unique stuff there.
There's a hole in my racket.
Budget cuts, sir. Budget cuts. Thank you. Oh!
Change the serve.
So what do you say? You're playing against the net, right?
That's your biggest opponent.
You ain't lying.
Same problem.
I know there's another initiative with the county where you're bringing out mental health professionals directly related to incidents in the county going hand in hand with officers. And I know that that's not necessarily dealing with early childhood development, but it's also dealing with the holistic care of individuals.
Yeah, and I think it's potentially breaking cycles of poverty and cycles of violence, which often police departments don't traditionally do. You know, a lot of people recognize Colonel Vaughn Bond, who I appointed as the first African-American police chief in the over 100-year history of Newcastle County Police. I think it's great that he's recognized as you know, I like to say he's Newcastle County Police's Jackie Robinson. He really, was a leader who led us on a new path.
But a difficult situation, a difficult time.
To do that, and he didn't realize when he was going to become chief of police he was doing that. But what people don't pay much attention to is that he also has a psychology degree, and I think he may be the first chief of police in county history who had a psychology degree. He studied psychology at Delaware State University.
So understanding the crux of the issue of mental health and how that affects the outcome of an interaction with a law enforcement
It's had a major impact on how we police. He came to me in my first few months, long before the whole George Floyd murder, long before a lot of what happened last year, the pandemic, policing, all sorts of those issues. The chief came to me and he said, we need to improve our mental health in policing. At the time, we were just starting a program called Hero Help, which deals with substance use and addiction and making sure that individuals who have a substance use disease are not incarcerated. They're provided treatment and we sort of support them.
And that the treatment is not incarceration, which it has been, especially among people of color throughout the United States for decades.
That's right, and it doesn't work.
Right.
It's the biggest issue. So making sure substance use, but he added on to that mental health. He teamed up initially with Connections, now we're with Christiana Care, to provide really top-notch mental health services at policing incidents. We're working now on expanding that effort. It's now, I think, 12 hours a day, about 7 days a week, and we're looking to expand it. What it means for you, for the people of the county, is that sometimes when you call with a mental health issue, you're going to have a non-uniform mental health professional show up with police officers to help out, to diffuse the situation and get you the help that you need.
Which can change the trajectory of people's lives.
Right, that's right. Kerwin, I thought we were talking while we're playing.
Okay, we are.
Friendly game.
Take it easy. Take it easy. I don't think that made it in the block.
Oh, it didn't? All right, take. Cheers.
So how is the county working with the violence that's going on in Wilmington right now?
So in terms of policing, it's Wilmington police jurisdiction. So the county and state police serve in a supporting role. But it's obviously, I live in the city of Wilmington. And it's obviously a concern to everyone in Newcastle County. So what we're really focusing on is how do we do things outside of policing to assist the city, whether it's job creation, workforce development, supporting early childhood.
Another question. I'm a young family, and I'm thinking about moving to Newcastle County for work. Why should I?
First of all, we in the county alone, Newcastle County government alone has 250 parks. The state has extraordinary parks, Bellevue, Lums Pond, each municipality, Wilmington, Newark. When you travel around the country, different places, the amount of open space, recreation here is really extraordinary. Places like the Delcastle Tennis Center are here for people to play tennis. So that's usually what I start with. There are plentiful job opportunities. If you have a PhD here, you can get a job at a top chemical company. Some of the top financial services companies in the world are right here. Or if you're looking for labor, basic, if you're in construction trades, huge opportunities there. We're developing technology, software. We have one of the largest ports in the country. So there are a whole bunch of opportunities to come here. My job often is to preserve quality of life in neighborhoods through our land use process outside the city of Wilmington. We're working hard to continue to maintain that great quality of life.
So again, what is it about Matt Meyer that brings up these initiatives? What was it in your background that says, you know what, I need to think about my fellow man and and find something better?
So, you know, I started my career teaching public school. I also spent that time in Kenya starting a business with individuals who had difficulty making more than 50 cents a day. You start a business, you provide individuals livelihood. You go and teach in an under-resourced environment. And then I ended up a lawyer. I practiced law. And every day I was a lawyer. That satisfaction of teaching elementary school kids, that satisfaction of the service we performed in Kenya, starting a business, providing employment opportunity, that doesn't leave your heart. You remember that. And so I was always thinking, how do I get back to those feelings? There's nothing like it. When you're able to take someone, and I know there are a lot of individuals in the community who know this feeling, including probably Big Ivan here at DETV. When you take someone who's looking for an opportunity for their family, and you're able to employ them and get them that paycheck, there's no feeling in the world like it. And so I was determined when I ran for county executive 5 years ago, and every day I've been in office, how do we expand those opportunities here across Newcastle County? Should have let it go.
4 or 5.
One thing I've seen, sir, is a tremendous amount of interest in libraries. I even see one in my community in Middletown being built. And some people think, why do we still need libraries?
I grew up off Shipley Road in North Wilmington, and I kind of learned how to read in the library off 202. You can go ahead and serve. I can talk and play. I kind of grew up in the library right off 202. Then I was moved to Falk Road. And what was I saying? Sorry. So when I learned how to read at library off 202, it was just a library, like you go there to read. Libraries now are very different. There was a time in the 1990s, Dennis Greenhouse, the county executive at the time, put together a commission to look at getting rid of the libraries, not doing libraries anymore. But what people found is people really need a community gathering place. Communities are looking for a place to come together. They're looking for technology. We just started, we announced 2 weeks ago, Library of Things. Now it's not just for books. You can go and take it if you need a drill for your house, if you want puzzles for your kids to play with. You need a device, an iPad, a laptop. All those are being rented out now at some of our libraries.
And that is throughout the county.
We piloted it at Newark Free Library and Route 9 Library, but it's going to be expanding. It was close. It was close.
Since 2016, you've been the county executive.
January 3rd, 2017.
2017. What's next?
Yeah, you sound like Storm and Norman. This is what he did in your studio. I thought if I brought you here to my home court, you know, Delcastle Tennis.
There's no advantage.
I thought
There's no
I have
advantage.
some home court advantage. We're real excited about what we did, what we've done, and what we continue to do at the county. I'm determined the people chose me last year to serve another 4-term through 2024, and with our great team at the county, 2,152 employees, we're working hard for the people of this county. We're obviously looking to see if we can take those same ideas of innovation, thinking about governance in a new way, thinking about how we deliver services to the younger and older populations of our county. We're talking about how to do it statewide.
Infrastructure is on everyone's mind. How does that trickle down to county? What plans does the county have in regards to the bond bill? I know it's directly with the state, but is there something that we can expect?
Wastewater and bike paths. All my political people say, whatever you do, don't talk about the sewers, because it's not, who wants to talk about sewers?
Hey,
right?
you talk about them when they don't work.
Yeah, you're talking about, I'm going to hear from you when they don't work, but it's actually one of the most important things we do. We're talking a lot about public health, and I like to say the most important of all the public health innovations, the last 500 years, think of all the technologies. Think about how different public health was 500 years ago. It's clean water and clean wastewater. I've spent time in countries, and a lot of people watching have too, in communities where wastewater is literally spewing into the street. The fact it is so clean. You flush the toilet, the water goes down your sink drain or your shower drain, and it's gone. It's away. You don't have to worry about it because it's our job. I pride myself on that, but we do have a crumbling infrastructure, and we're looking, I was just speaking with Senator Carper about it yesterday, We're looking to leverage this opportunity to really rebuild our underground wastewater infrastructure. I should add to that we've added a new component to it a year ago. We started to use wastewater as a means, as a mechanism to understand what's going on in public health in our community. That was our COVID-19
A test bed almost from deposits.
That's right. And so when an invisible virus, when there's invisible bacteria in our community, in some cases, in these times, a deadly virus, we don't know where it is, using our sewer water, our wastewater, to get a view on that. So we're doing that as well. We're also looking to connect communities, particularly communities where people are living in poverty, with open spaces, with pathways, because they deserve it as much as the people in Greenville, Pike Creek, Hocus.
Ah! This isn't going well.
That's right. Next time we'll go golfing.
This isn't going well at all. This was not how we scripted it.
Yeah, that's right. What did Ivan say? Don't let him win? Isn't that what Ivan told you?
I believe those were the directions, sir, yes. Out.
It was out? You want me to give you a break?
No.
You all right?
Yeah, that's fine. Where's the law of attraction now, Ivan?
(11-4), game point. Can you feel the pressure?
It's been a pleasure.
Let me see your hand before we shake. Good. Good game.